Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Raw Recovery, the community. I hope everyone who is tapping in today is in a good headspace mentally. Today we have with us our guest, Miss Shekima, who is willing to be on the show to talk about what her mental health journey has been like and what the road of recovery for her mental health has been like. This episode is different than some of the other episodes that I have aired previously, specifically because we are talking about mental health from recovery from mental health standpoint. Usually we are speaking about maybe addiction or even homelessness, but we haven't yet been able to talk about mental health. Today's episode is a reminder of something we talk about often here, that recovery is not one size fits all. Recovery is not only about drugs and alcohol. People are recovering from mental health challenges, life changes, identity shifts, and learning how to live again after their life has been turned upside down. Today, I am joined by Shekima, who courageously agreed to come on the show and share her experience with mental health recovery. Beginning back in 2019, Shekima experienced a severe mental health breakdown connected to chemical imbalance, something that changed her life and required her to learn herself in an entirely new way. What's important to name is that Shekima's story does not center around childhood trauma or past chaos. Her journey is about what happens when life is going well. When you're functioning, loving, showing up for others, and then suddenly your mental health shifts in a way that you never saw coming. Shekima is a devoted mother, a hardworking woman, an active member of this community, a supportive sister, and a loving daughter who shows up for her family in many ways. She is recently divorced and navigating what it looks like to rebuild stability, confidence, and self-trust, while still managing her mental health on a daily basis. This conversation is about resilience, acceptance, and learning how to live with yourself with the narrative you never expected to fit. I am grateful that Ms. Shekima has joined us today because it's not easy to talk about these things. So thank you for sharing with us today.
You're welcome.
Want to introduce yourself to the people?
Hi, everybody. I am Shekima, here to share my story. I just woke up one morning, just discombobulated. Wasn't sure who, what, when, where, why, or how.
Okay.
And I'm here now.
Respect. For the people who are meeting you for the first time, who is Shekima?
Shekima is someone that shows up for everybody before she shows up for herself. That alone might be a lot of pressure, right? Little pressure points. Devoted. I'll go to the ends of the earth for anybody.
Respect. Yeah. When you hear the word recovery, what does that mean for you personally?
Recovery to me represents the journey of where I've left of 2019 to where I am presently. I'm here. It's the past. And I try not to let it resurface.
Okay. How do you typically describe your mental health journey to people who don't fully understand it? What is that conversation usually like?
Wow. That conversation is, I just woke up one morning. Nothing was wrong. It just woke up and everything was off. My senses, the fear, the anxiety, the heart palpitations, being scared to drive, just not sure.
From previous conversations, you said you can recall when you were struggling with your mental health, when it began. You said it started back in 2019.
Yes.
Can you describe what that first moment was like what you were feeling mentally and emotionally? Any sensations, things like that?
I felt like I was losing myself. I've never experienced it before. I couldn't put it into words. I just knew something was wrong and something was off about me. And trying to communicate that to somebody was extremely hard because nobody understood. Shekima, you made it to work. You dropped your son to school. You're fine. Everything's fine. But it wasn't. It wasn't.
And at that time, did you know it was a chemical imbalance, or did it just feel like something was off, like something you just couldn't explain? Have you ever even heard of a chemical imbalance situation before?
Honestly, no.
Right.
Not until my situation. And that was once I became under therapy. Then I was told what I experienced, what it was. And we sought out a plan for triggers to figure out when it comes on, what to do when it does come on, so I can bring myself back down, because anxiety is no joke. It's like having a heart attack behind the wheel and you just don't want to die.
What was going through your mind when you realized that this was something you just couldn't push away?
I have no words for that. It was just a feeling.
Was it scary? Like, was it a scary, intense feeling?
It's extremely scary because you know you're alive, you know you're moving, you're in motion, but nothing makes sense. You don't understand how you walked one step, how you blinked. There's no clue. Nothing makes sense. Nothing adds up.
You mentioned how you were showing up to work, which is like kind of like a normal thing. What was it like trying to explain to people around you when there was no obvious reason for you to be having this sort of meltdown? Lack of better words.
I could say I had great support at work at both jobs. I actually had a manager who had some type of experience with this. So she knew what it looked like in advance. And she did not allow me to wallow in self-pity. I need you to come to work. I hired you for a reason. I know you're a smart girl. You got this. I need you. So she didn't allow me to fall in that gap at work. But when I went home, it was a whole nother story.
I was curious about that. Kudos and shout out to your boss for stepping in that way. It's definitely important for not just our people in our personal lives to notice the changes in us, but like your coworkers, especially your superiors. If my work performance has changed and I've been with the company for 2-3 years and it's the first time, check in on your employees. You know what I'm saying? People, how can I do the job if I'm not my best self?
It's weird because my work ethics didn't change.
Nice.
It's weird. It was just that I can feel it coming on and I would excuse myself. I'd go to the bathroom and then sometimes I would just sit on the floor, like in the stall, and just try to breathe. Or make a phone call to someone and say, hey, I'm not doing good. Like,
And this is before you even knew what was going on with you?
this is before I was under therapy where I knew what was going on. I can't explain. It's just, it happened. And it was like, I'm looking around and it's like, nobody understands. I'm screaming, I'm yelling, help me. But nobody could hear me. It was one of those type of things, or those feelings.
I'm glad that people were supportive for what you were going through at work. How about in your personal life? How did it feel to hear things like, you'll be fine, or just get over it? Like, did it affect your willingness to ask for actual help? Because at this point, you haven't even reached out for help yet.
No, it didn't. I knew that something was wrong. And me being a mom, I knew that my son needed me. And there was, to me, nobody else could do the job as a mom, because I'm his mom. Right. And I wanted to do that to the fullest. So I had to show up still, despite what I was going through. So you are going through a mental moment. You don't understand what's going on. You're still showing up as yourself. You still have to be that mom. So all of those emotions are wrapped in one body. Just confused.
So how was it once you did seek help? Because even though you seek help, every day isn't perfect, right? No matter if you're going to therapy or taking medication, no, every day is not perfect. There are slip-ups, things like that. How do you manage dealing with work and having to deal with your mental health? How do you balance both?
So once I became under therapy, that's when I began to understand what I was experiencing. I also took different types of medications to put the pieces of the puzzles together. So if I could explain it, I'm a puzzle. All the pieces are scattered. Nothing would fit, right? So once I started taking the medication, the pieces of the puzzle started to come together gradually. It took time. It didn't happen overnight. But I trusted the therapist, and trusting someone that I didn't know who might judge me was the hardest part. When I first met her, she said, what are you afraid of? I said, I don't want to be a zombie. I just don't want to be a zombie walking spaced out. And she was like, no. So if I was a heart doctor and there was something wrong with your heart, would you take the medication? I said, yeah. She said, well, if you're a diabetic and I have medication to help with those symptoms, would you take it? And I was like, yeah. She said, well, I'm a head doctor and I have things that can help get your mind right. And I was like, right there I was sold. And that's where the trust began.
That was a real good
It
breakdown.
was good.
Choosing to take any medication is often difficult, but when it comes to the psych meds, I know a lot of people in my personal life and the field that I'm in, people are like, no. Understandably so. As soon as you turn on a commercial, you'll feel better, but your toes might fall off.
Right.
You know what I'm
There's
saying?
always side effects to everything.
I get it. And also speaking from experience, when I first was getting sober, I was prescribed medication to try to balance me out, but nothing was really working.
Okay.
So then I started working with my psychiatrist, and we worked on a plan that was best for me. So again, kudos to you for seeking help, which is always the first step, obviously, but it's the most difficult to ask for help, especially when you don't know what's going on with you. Like, right?
The hardest part too was trying to find a therapist. I remember staying home one day and I had like a Rolodex of different from Psychology Today. Awesome website,
Nice.
Psychology Today people. I was able to find a therapist, gender, sexuality, location, anything that catered to me as a person, I found.
Nice.
And I made several calls and it was, hi, if this is an emergency, please call 911. And I'm like, this is not an emergency. I don't need to go to the ER. I just need somebody to talk to. And I called numerous people. This one young lady called me back and she's still my therapist to this day.
Oh, nice.
Great.
And you guys have a good rapport.
We do. It's more of checking now. It's, I'm okay right now. Some days are harder than others. You know, life be lifing, right? You have work, you have kids, you know, helping the family, the parents, and sometimes you get overwhelmed and you don't know how to stop because you're so used to going.
Thank you for sharing with the audience ways to tap into the resources for help. And also, I think it's important to share with the audience when you do reach out for help, if you feel like you're not connecting with that therapist, you don't have to feel obligated to stay with that therapist. And they know that. You know, you can bounce around, shop around, so you get the person that matches with you, like how Shekima did. So I'm very happy that you were able to connect with someone on that level.
Thank you.
Were there days where you barely were surviving, but you still had to perform at work as a mother,
Yes.
as a wife at the time?
It was more so at home. I felt bad because I'd make it through the day. I'd push through the day. As soon as that clock hit 5 o'clock, I'd zoom out. I would go get my son, and then I would go to the couch. And that's where I would stay all night. And I wouldn't move. I wouldn't eat. I couldn't eat, right? Couldn't stomach anything. And my son would bring me water. And I was like, oh my God, he's hurting for me. Like, I gotta get out of this. I gotta do something. What it is, I don't know what that is. But I'm gonna find my way. Eventually, when the anxiety started coming on after being in therapy, I did get back to my religion. I got back to God. There was a break when I moved from one place to the next, and I didn't have a church home or didn't go back to my old church home. That was the hardest part. And getting back to that part got me where I am today. And I made a promise, God, if you get me through this, I'll never go back. I promise. I won't go back. I won't let anything take me back. So guys, don't let nothing take you back. Okay. Just continue to push through. Even though it does feel weird, it doesn't feel right, it doesn't look like what you want it to be. Just don't give up. Just don't. It will take its course. It'll pass.
Sharing that, also I want to know, what do you want people in your personal life, co-workers, employers, what would you want them to understand about mental health recovery?
Mental health doesn't have a look. It doesn't have a sound. If you know a person, then you know something might be different about them and you might not be able to put your hands on it. But it, like you said, it's not a one size fit all. One day it can be anxiety. The next day it can be heart palpitations. The next, you feel like you're about to die. You don't know what it's going to be until it actually hits.
Right. Were there moments that you felt guilt or fear or worry about how your mental health was affecting your children?
Yes. At that time, I only had one child.
Okay.
And I felt like maybe I made him grow up a little bit faster than he should have because he was taking care of mommy. Mommy, you need water? Mommy, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah. Just give mommy a little bit. Give me a few. I got you. I'm going to get up. Just give me a little bit. I felt bad. And I think that helped me out the struggle too, because I didn't want him to sink down with me. I'd rather sink by myself. But on the road to recovery, again, dealing with a therapist, I got better eventually, right? And I used to apologize for what I did. And he was like, Mom, it's okay. You're okay. I got you. So I think he was stronger, or I made him stronger, or he developed the strongness inside seeing what I physically went through. And it was just me and him at that time because my husband was at work when these things would happen. He wasn't, somebody had to make the money, right? So by the time I got home, it was, don't move from that couch. But in due time, but like I said, with therapy, everything began to slowly pass, right? And then you eventually get to a place where you can ride a straight wave. And when you're doing medication, sometimes you have to try different concoctions because one day you can be up and down, and then one, you're riding straight through. So it does take a while.
You kind of tapped on it when you were saying about your relationship with your son, but I still want to ask a little further. What helped you continue to show up as a mother during a time where you were trying to survive mentally?
I had no choice. I moved to a place where I didn't have family or friends. So it was just me, him, and my husband.
What was the hardest part about navigating the mental health while still being emotionally present for your child?
I was scared. I was scared that it would change his life, or he might grow to have the moments that I started to have. And I didn't want that. I just wanted him to be a regular kid without a mom that had struggles,
right,
or something was wrong with his mom.
That's a lot of pressure.
It is.
That's a lot. So do you feel like motherhood gave you strength, or was it pressure, or both during that time?
I think it was a mixture. I can say it was a mixture because nobody could feed him, right? It was just me and him. So I had to get up. I had to make sure he ate. I had to make sure he was clean. I had to make sure he went to the bathroom. I had to make sure he took a bath. So I think despite what I was going through, he still made me push through because he needed me. He didn't have nobody else at that moment because, like I said, my husband was at work.
Okay. And earlier in the show, we discussed that everybody's mental health and things like it can come out of nowhere, and there's not really a pinpoint on how it started. And for you, you said you didn't really experience any severe trauma or any chaos. However, when you and I have spoken privately, you did share things about your father that you said you didn't mind sharing on the show.
Abandonment.
Yeah. That's
right? So, love my dad. We are in a great place in space, people. Nothing is wrong.
Respect.
But the story is he wasn't there when I was young, right? So, growing up, my mom did everything. And I had my brothers and sisters who stepped in place of my dad, right? They had my back. They would show up. But I think when I started to experience that later on in my relationship, that this is where the anxiety started coming from, because 2019, I did get married, right? So you have new pressures, how to be the best mom, how to be the best wife. It's a lot of pressure, and still try to be Shekima at the end of the day. But I made it, and I'm here.
Respect. And you're thriving, sis. We see
I'm thriving.
When you look back now, can you see patterns of abandonment and how it showed up in your adult relationships?
Yes.
Can you break that down for us?
Not seeing the red flags or not wanting to see them because you love someone, right? And it could be something really minor that you know you should pay attention to but don't want to. It's hard. It's hard because the expectation is when you get married, you're going to stay married, right? I didn't get married to get a divorce. That's something he and I both used to say. We didn't get married to get a divorce. But we're here. And we're good friends now, right? So we're co-parenting. Life is different. My life is different. And I love the space that I'm in with him now.
Okay.
I do.
And I love hearing earlier that you said you're in a good space with your father. What was it like reconnecting with him? When we were speaking privately, you said that you wrote a letter, which I think is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
What was it like doing something like that that's very vulnerable? And were there any people in your corner who encouraged you to do that?
Yes, my sister was like, Shekima, I think it was Jenny Jones at that time. She's like, write a letter. And
Jenny
I did.
Jones. What?
Jenny Jones, the talk show.
The talk show.
Yep, watching some of her segments, right? It's like, I'm going to write a letter.
Respect.
That letter wasn't nice. It wasn't nice. And my sister was like, nope, you're not going to go that way. You're going to rewrite this letter and you're going to do it differently. And that opened up the window, right? Sometimes we don't realize as children what our parents go through, right? Until I became a mom. And then I realized, wow, this is hard. This is not easy, you know? I didn't have the option to leave though, right? But I'm glad the course that it has taken. And now I see him with my children and I love it. I love what I see. I didn't get to experience it directly, but seeing them gives him a rebirth and it gives me a rebirth because at the end of the day, it's like, my children are happy. It's their grandma and it's their grandpa. Like, that's all they know.
I love that.
And I love it. It's so nice to be in. And I'm thankful to God that I don't think negative when I see it. Oh, he didn't do that for me. No, it doesn't feel like that. I'm glad he got an opportunity to be the dad or the granddad that he needed to be. And it was perfect for me to see it because that's growth.
I don't know. Not for nothing. I was watching on Instagram, Kelly Rowland. She recently connected with her father.
Okay.
And, you know, she doesn't have to give us any explanation. But they're really rebuilding. And it's just like, at this age, that's really hard. You know what I'm saying? So
Kirk Franklin did it too.
Yeah. Oh,
with his last album.
Wow. He connected with his father or his mother.
His biological father.
Wow. That's amazing. And to be able to do that, because I already know, like you said, you could have been walking around like, well, he wasn't there for me and stuff like that. What are we going to do moving forward, you know? You
gotta forgive.
That's my new love language.
You gotta forgive.
That is really my new love language in like 2025. It's just like real been up for me in forgiveness. Like,
if you don't forgive, for me, that's that little fester, that little spot inside that just keeps growing and multiplying, right? And that's anger. And guess what? I already had 2019. I do not want to go back. I forgive you for not being the person that you were supposed to be for me. Let's just move forward. Let's move forward. Yeah.
That was perfect.
Move forward.
Way to wrap it up. You were mentioning previously that sometimes your ex-husband, did a lot of working. So he was away a lot. And managing and sustaining a relationship or a marriage is already hard. So
being young too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And so with him being away, that made you have to step up and do a lot more around the house by yourself. During your marriage, when did you start to feel kind of like emotionally abandoned?
When the long hours of work. I mean, he took care of his family. That can't lie. He took that money, hit the rent, it hit the bills when it was supposed to, and he did the best that he could. But then as a woman, you get lonely, right? And then you have the kids going crazy and you start to pull back. You start to forget who you are as a person because your mom 24/7, your wife 24/7. Who is Shekima? Where did she go? She got lost in just living. And it hurts, but when I look back, I am happy and I'm grateful that everything I've experienced helped me to become the person that I am today. You know, it wasn't all good and it's not all bad, but there's great days. And now there are even brighter days, right? And who knows what the future holds? I can't say, but I circle back one day. Who knows?
Come on, Shekima. Let's go. Even that laugh was so bomb. Like, I love seeing you in this space, sis.
And one thing I will say is if you love somebody, love doesn't die just because you're not together, right? We're just finding another direction without titles, without the stress, without the, what's the word I'm looking for? Responsibilities or expectations. That's a better word. Expectations of what it's supposed to look like. We're doing it our way.
Because you guys are still in touch. You guys are very still active with your kids.
I am not a single parent. I'm a single parent, right? It sounds like it, but he's present.
Right.
He's there for those children. He's there.
How do you think your abandonment wounds from childhood kind of surfaced in your marriage?
Not communicating what I felt. And when I began to have those feelings, I should have been a big girl and said, hey, this is what I'm experiencing. But I didn't want to be judged because guess what? You got daddy issues. No, I don't have daddy issues. I don't. This is just what I experienced. And I didn't want that to be wrapped up or misconstrued until what I believed and what I felt. Sometimes just being understood is the hardest part to be heard.
Respect. So fast forward a little bit, things kept going the way it went. You still feeling like you were kind of by yourself. Husband still out working those long hours. What made you finally say, all right, I have to pull back. It's time for me to reevaluate my life and actually finally decide to ask for a divorce?
I didn't want to do it. I'll be real. I don't think anyone that shares children with someone that they chose, because he chose me and I chose him. It was hard. I just know that I couldn't continue to do it because my children were watching a little bit. And I didn't want them to make the same mistakes that I possibly made or thought that that was okay or this was the norm. If mommy and daddy did it, when I get older, this is the way it's going to be. I didn't want that for them. I want them to have their own clean experience in life.
Yeah, but kids are like a sponge, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they see you guys arguing, or even if they don't see you guys arguing, kids can pick up
Anything.
you know what I mean, what you're going through. They can tell that you're not in your best, the best version of yourself. So how was that, like, when you were going through the divorce, trying to keep them out of it?
Keeping them out of the business was easy because we don't discuss certain things in front of them. And he was still there.
Okay.
Despite what we were going through, he would come through to the house. He can cook very well at that. He made sure they were good. They were well taken care of. I could get some rest. I could go run some errands. So that's what the new norm looked like. It sounds weird, but he was still there. From then to now, he's still there.
Well, because I was going to ask, what did life look like immediately after divorce? Like, and how did you begin to rebuild your sense of stability? Because you said he was still very present, so it wasn't
and it's hard,
too much of a trend.
Right? Because I made that decision that I was done. I was finished, right? And then I'm still here and I still see this person that I love. And it hurts more because I'm trying to be a strong person as I'm going through and everybody's watching you. Your children are looking. You know, when my baby girl sees him, she's like, Mommy, give daddy a kiss. Mommy, give daddy a hug. And I'm like, you smell good, right? You just, the good memories tend to flood back when you are away from all the drama and the chaos where it didn't work out. So when two people are separated in two separate corners and they're living life and it's easier, it's softer. Is it acceptable? Maybe not to everybody's culture or liking, but for right now, it's working. My children have their dad, and that's number one for me. I never want him to leave them or vice versa. And I would never get in the way of that relationship.
Respect. You definitely see parents who go through it, and females get mad at the dad and want to keep the dad away from the kids.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't even know how that makes sense, but we're going to digress right there.
Yeah.
Put a pin on that. You've made it very clear that you're not a single parent. So what does daily co-parenting look like?
The phone calls, the check-ins, the, hey, what's up? How was school? Like, does she need anything? Does he need anything? I mean, they have iPads, so the communication isn't lapsed. Whenever you get ready to talk or want to talk, call him. And he checks in. So they probably don't think anything is different, just that he's not physically there. Everything is still the same. We still do the little family events, or he'll take them out, or we'll meet at Chuck E. Cheese or something. Okay. Yeah, so there's still a togetherness, even though we're separated.
I really love that for your kids. It's definitely the worst when family dynamics change, but when the kids got to be in the middle of it. So kudos again to the way that you guys are maneuvering. Like you said, it works for you guys.
And it's different. Yeah, it's different. It might not be acceptable to everybody.
Girl, ain't nobody worried about what nobody think on this show. Raw recovery.
But this is my norm. This is my norm for
Respect.
now. I don't know what the future holds, but right now we're both in a great space.
Respect. How do you prioritize your mental health while still sharing the parenting responsibilities? How do you not to say that you don't keep your kids first, but
Okay.
in any recovery, you do have to put
Take
yourself first. You have to take time, and there's an example that they use. Whenever you're on the airplane, they say, put your mask on first before you worry
help
about the
others.
kids,
Yes.
right? Because you cannot help them if you're drowning.
Which is true.
You know what I mean? So how do you prioritize making sure Shekima stays first? Because I know you love your kids.
I do. And first of all, you got to realize that you can't feel guilty. Mm-hmm. I feel guilty when I'm not with them every second, or when I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go get my hair done. Mom, Dad, could you watch the kids real quick? Well, I'll call them and say, hey, you want to take the kids out? I want to hang out for a little bit. I just want to breathe. And he gives me that. Or he'll come over and he'll keep the kids away from me, and I'll lock myself in the room, take that nice hot shower, that hot bath, just to breathe, handle little businesses or do math, whatever it is that Shekima needs to do. He does give me that.
Girl, y'all gonna get back together. Y'all gonna get this. You say, because it's like you said, y'all might have went through what you went through, but you still love him.
I do.
He still loves on you, But however it shake is how it shake. But I'm team your ex. I like him. I like him for you. All right. So what helped you the most in stabilizing your mental health over time? It's not, you're not done. We're in recovery. So what helps you stay stable?
Maintaining my appointments with my therapist.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I can totally relate.
Yes. We usually do like a 3-4 week check-in. Mm-hmm. But when I need her, I can text immediately. There's a thread, a secure thread, right? If I say I need you, she calls me right away, because I don't usually call her on I need help. When I started to feel the feelings again, even earlier this year, I'm like, the feelings are coming back. Mm. I can feel it. And she's like, okay, we're going to get you back started again. We're going to get on the right track. You're going to breathe. You got this. And then as that storm passes and it becomes that plain field, you're back to normal again. Until you get back into that thick of whatever it is that's causing that anxiety, which I can't put my hand on. Mm. That's the scary part. Mm-hmm. I'm just thankful for the support from my current job. I was scared I was going to lose my job, honestly, because if you have mental health, how could you function? How can you do the job that I pay you so well for, right? But that wasn't the case. It was, Shekima, we got you. Whatever it takes for you to be well, we got you. Mm. And I'm well, right? Until I get into the thick of that hustling and that bustling and dropping the kids and racing from here to there. And it feels like your heart's just going to pop. Mm-hmm. And that I can't do. And when I started having that anxiety and those sensations, I was scared I was going to have a car accident. Oh my. It's scary. Mm. So knowing when to get behind the wheel, when not to get behind the wheel is very important. Mm. You have to know your triggers. I'll say that. You got to know your triggers. Once you figure out what your triggers are, as they start to occur over time, you're able to put them to bed. You're able to put them to rest. Mm-hmm. Or at least calm them down just a little bit.
Yeah, when you see them coming.
Yeah.
Do you have any techniques that you do? Like any breathing techniques, aside from reaching out to your therapist?
I do deep breaths. Mm-hmm. Deep breaths. And sometimes if I get myself in a state of going to sleep, I'll lay on the floor. Anybody can do this. You lay on your side, you bring your knees to your chest, and you just breathe deeply. Wow. Just take the breaths, and eventually whatever you're experiencing, it slows down the body, it slows down the heart, your brain starts to calm down, and sometimes you go to sleep. And that's when everything goes silent. Mm. And when you have that silent, when you wake up, you're refreshed.
Right, I'm going to check. I'm going to try that myself.
It's a good sleeping technique. I learned it in college.
I love to sleep. I love a good night's sleep. So, how important has your community been in your healing? I know you've mentioned your husband, your ex-husband, how supportive he is. And even shout out to your employer, because I also from experience, I've had an employer, I don't know why she never fired me, but she just wouldn't. But if she had, I would have
gotten worse probably.
I would have.
But it got worse.
I actually had a plan. I kind of wanted to get fired because I just was tired, girl. I had a plan to get fired, be on unemployment, and drink drink, drink, drink. That was my plan. And I probably wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation with you. So again,
kudos to her.
Shout out to the employers, right? You know what I'm saying? Know your coworkers, know your staff, because a lot of the times the jobs we do, ain't nobody knocking down the doors to do it. You know what I mean? Especially in the mental health field, or, you know, in social services, like the jobs are hard. They're very draining on the mind and the body and the brain and stuff like that. So again, I just wanted to shout out the people who look out for, we're not your family, but like you spend
most of the time
with them the most.
You know what I want to say too? I think mental health has a voice now. Mm-hmm. It didn't have a voice back in the day, right? Because nobody knew what it looked like. It didn't have a color.
Especially for Black people.
Right. And it's, something's wrong with you. Get your life, girl. You're right. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Pray. You're going to be good. But when you know something else is wrong and you start seeking a community that provides resources, and you start, oh, I look like that. That's what I feel like. Well, what did you do? How did you get better? You start communicating, you start sharing your stories.
Let's talk about it.
Right, like we here today. It's scary, you guys. Right. It's really scary, but I just want people to understand that there is life after that, right? Or as you're still transitioning, and I'm still in therapy. That's something I'm not giving up unless she says I can't be a therapist no more, right? It's a necessity for me. I look forward to those conversations. I'll jot down what happened over the weekend or something that bothered me, and I won't forget to let her know. And we just talk about it. A therapist is good for the soul. And I think a lot of people are scared to release their inner thoughts out. But it's time. It's time to heal. It's time.
I like that.
It's time.
You said it's time to heal.
It's time.
You also said that during this time, and you're right, people are really more so tapping into these mental health resources. We're talking about it more. And when I mentioned that it's for the Black community, people of color, we typically don't talk about it. I think 20 years ago, we weren't talking.
We weren't, no.
We weren't having raw recovery.
No.
We weren't talking about our innermost, deepest
And we have more
things.
prominent people in the community and the culture and, you know, the bigwigs. They're coming forward with their stories now. So now, because you come forward with your story, I'm not so scared to tell mine.
Let me tell you something. When I seen Denzel Washington, shout out to Denzel Washington. I love me some Denzel. But when I seen him admit that, I think he was at the time, I'm not going to put a number on his years of recovery because I don't want to mess that up, put the wrong number out there. But when I seen that he struggled with his own addictions, with alcohol, and I believe he said cocaine. Again, don't quote me, but he just admitting that, and that's someone that I admire.
You look
I
up
really
to?
look up to him. Also, Jamie Lee Curtis, she admitted her struggles. So watching people that I've grown up watching, admitting, because we look at, I mean, I know we no one thinks that celebrities are perfect, but we do put them on a pedestal.
Right, because it's different, yeah.
Yeah, so to see someone on their level admitting that they're struggling with the same type of addiction, it's not going to give you a cure, but it just hits different.
It's them living in their truth and shedding their light. So once that ray of light is shown, it beams, so it spreads, right? So it's being felt like, okay, if he can do it, maybe I can do it.
What have you learned about yourself that you didn't know before this journey?
That I'm dope.
Period. Let's go.
Dope, right?
I'm trying to stop saying period. The one episode I counted myself saying period 6 times, but that was so worthy.
I realize I'm a survivor.
That's
I mean, I don't have cancer or anything like that, but I'm a survivor of my own situationship. And I'm loving me every day. I wake up, boots on the ground, keep it moving.
Nice. And for someone who is experiencing...
Excuse me.
That's okay, baby. For someone who is experiencing a mental health breakdown without any obvious
Trigger.
cause... Right, yeah. What would you want them to know? Like, let's not suffer in silence.
Your story is real. Sorry.
Take your time.
I get choked up sometimes. Your story's real. It matters. Don't let nobody discredit you because it's you. It doesn't have a look. It doesn't have a taste. Just stand in that truth and push through.
Respect.
Respect.
Let's go. Like, let the people hear how passionate you are about it, because Again, as I was saying in the beginning of the show, whenever we're talking about recovery, people are waiting for that big bang traumatic story, and that's just not what we have for them today. We have to we have your raw truth about what mental health look like for you.
And it's a gradual progression. It's gradual. It's not over, right? Because I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what moment a hit, life occurrences. But when it comes, I'm going to try to be ready.
So what does recovery look like for you now compared to when this all began?
Communicating. Knowing how I feel and stating how I feel and standing on that, nothing less. And I don't let nobody tell me, oh, you feel, no, I don't feel like that. This is how I feel. Ask me. Don't tell me how I feel. So I stand up for myself now. That's something I don't think I did, because when you're going through mental health in those moments, you don't have a voice because you don't know what you're confused. So now, now I know what it is, what it looks like. And if I'm getting stressed, not today, devil. Nope, I'm good. Not today. You know what? I'm going to take a walk. I'll be back. When you finish, you let me know. I'll be back. Right? Like I get up and I walk away. I take care of me now. I don't sit in it to hear somebody else put their beliefs on me.
What gives you hope moving forward?
As long as I'm alive, as long as God wakes me up, that I got another day to get it right, or another day to help somebody else, or share my story where somebody can say, wow, damn, that happened to me. Oh, wow, that's what that's called? I've never heard that. I mean, I'm a lady. I never heard chemical imbalance. You know, you think you know your body, but you don't. As you get older, things start changing and your hormones, and they shift. And honestly, I don't think I eat correctly as a female, right? I'm supposed to eat vegetables and no. So the lack of vitamins, minerals, all of that takes effect on your body.
Okay.
And that's how that kind of starts with it. You know?
You know, we literally have like naturally the things that we are supposed to consume in our bodies. So it makes sense that if we're taking in different things, just like when we were saying about taking the different psych medicines, it's even the foods that we say, they're pumping the food and the animals with a lot of hormones. You know what I'm saying? So that makes sense. You kind of touched on my next question a little bit earlier, but if you could leave something with our listeners, what's the message for mental health recovery? What would it be? What would that be for them?
I would say seek help, whatever that looks like for you, seek help. Have your community, right? You need that confidant, someone that you can actually trust, and you do need someone to talk to outside of the therapist that knows what's going on. Like, okay, if something happened to me, here's a book. This is what I would like. Or this is the medicine that I'm on. If something happens to me, you need that type of confidant to the side. And I think getting rest. You got to shut your brain off. Right. That's something I don't do.
Yes, sleep is so important. Oh my goodness, you cannot.
I'm guilty. No sleep.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
So the mind keeps running, and the mind is extremely powerful. It will take over the physical body. That inner thought that you possibly hear, your own inner voices, that can break you because we are our own worst critic, right? I think I look good today. And that inner voice is like, girl, fix your glasses, sit up straight, you know? So you have to speak over yourself. Whatever you hear in your mental thoughts, speak over it. I'm not feeling today. Oh, yes, I feel good today. Oh, I'm not going to. Yes, I'm going to work today. You have to just continue to speak over yourself. And when you do something over 30 days, it becomes a habit. So if you continue to live day by day with your new habits, you'll correct the old ones and possibly get over them.
People don't like when I say it, but I'm going to say it for this purpose. Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you.
I'm dead ass. You know, a lot of people didn't think I was the nicest person in the world, especially when I was first getting sober. There was this meme about Virgos, like, it sounds like,
you Virgo?
La. Yeah. Oh, but Virgos, we get in trouble.
I'm in the world of Virgos.
It's like, people, it sounds nice in my head. It sounds like, may you please do this? But when the person hearing it is, bitch, hurry up.
I need my stuff.
That's what it's like. I could have sworn I said that's super, super nice. So, yeah, I can definitely relate in that respect. Okay, well, I really do appreciate you giving us some time today, sharing your experiences, telling the people about what resources that you tapped into. And speaking of resources, I want to just leave something with the people. There are resources for people who are struggling. If you don't really know where to tap into, if you have insurance, you can look on the back of your insurance card, dial that number, and I'm pretty sure they can get you to the right place. If you don't have private insurance, even with your Medicare or Medicaid, call those numbers and they can also tap you into the right resources for insurance. There's county funding. There's also a specific agency that I know works with people out here in New York called Bridging Access to Care.
Okay.
I'm not promoting. I'm just telling people to possibly look into them or Google other places. I just know them off the top of my head. Also, if you're still struggling with locating places, specifically, you can call 311. When in doubt, call 311. That's my biggest thing. But that's for the New York area. So I want to be clear that, we are shooting here in New York, but we are not, we're open to assisting people from any parts, whoever's tuning in. So if you're struggling with locating resources, to reach out to us. You can send us an email, rawrecoverythecommunitytc@gmail.com. Again, that number, again, the email, rawrecoverytc@gmail.com. And again, if we don't know where to send you, we will figure it out. I just was working with an individual from a different state. I'm not going to get too much into his information, but I don't know anything about his state. But I stayed up until 3, 4 in the morning until we figured something out, and we were able to get him into rehab.
Wow.
That's what we do.
Kudos to you.
That's what we do. Not me. That's what we do. It ain't nothing about me, because, girl, we in this together. I say that all the time. And silence keeps us sick. And nobody is about to suffer in silence. Now, when we got this platform, Raw Recovery, the community. And I thank you, sister.
Well, thank you for having me and telling my story. Like I said, I was scared. I was nervous. It's going to air, but it is what it is. This is my story.
Yes, it is. And you told it phenomenally, so thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And we out of here. Thanks again for tuning in. Raw Recovery, the community. Peace.
See you later.